Hi, I'm George Woodbury from College of the Sequoias in Visalia, California, and in this video we're going to talk about the end behavior for the graph of a polynomial function. And oops, that's the wrong pen. F of x equals ax sub n plus some other powers. And we're going to focus on that leading term because that really is responsible for the end behavior. Now, there are two cases for the degree. We might have an odd degree or an even degree, and that really tells us a lot about the end behavior. If we think about odd degree, like x to the first, that's a line that either goes up to the right or down to the right. And if we have x cubed, we know that graph, a positive x cubed goes up to the right, down to the left, but a negative x cubed goes the opposite way. And the same would be true for x to the fifth, x to the seventh, and so on. So for the odd degree, if a is positive, the end behavior is going to be up to the right, but down to the left. And we have to figure out what happens in the middle of that. If a is negative, though, everything gets flipped around. And so that's going to be up towards the left and down towards the right. If the degree is even, like x squared, we know in a parabola at the two ends, they're either both opening up if a is positive or down if a is negative. So same thing holds true whether we have x to the fourth, x to the sixth, and so on. If a is positive, both ends are going to be going up. But if a is negative, both ends are going to be going downward instead. I've got a few examples ready to go. Let's start with the two that are odd, and that's B and C. In B, the leading term is negative x cubed. That tells us that A is negative, and so that means that it's going to go up to the left and down to the right. Now for part C, the leading term is x to the fifth. That is a positive coefficient, positive 1, and that means that this one's going to go up to the right, but down to the left. For the two that are even, example A and D, they're either going to be both up or both down, depending on the sign of the coefficient of the leading term. And in A, that leading term is x to the sixth power. That's a positive coefficient, positive 1. That means on both sides, it's opening upward. For the other one, negative x to the fourth, that is a negative coefficient, and that means on both ends, it's going to be opening, going downward on both sides. All right, just do a little quick discussion of end behavior. It's a good first step for the graph, knowing what the outsides are going to look like. Then you can worry about the insides afterwards.